Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Munga. We have a record man here on the field. That's called as Harry Kane, who just made the record or crossed the record of the most goals for Tottenham Hotspurs. 267 goals scored by Harry Kane to beat the record. And also he becomes the third player to get to score 200 goals in Premier League. He's only behind Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer. It almost puts him into folklore, a legend of Tottenham Hotspurs, and Spurs fans should be delighted by what this man has done, and always keeps delivering for a club that he has, I think, vowed not to leave or never to leave. I don't know. This man has never, it's almost been like he's almost like an employee who gets all the records because, well, he's been in the same organization for 50 fucking years. But then, yeah, that's the case. That's Harry Kane for you. That's dedication and whatever you call it. He's the man for Spurs. He's the man who scored them the most goals ever in his shirt, Tottenham's shirt. Bravo. Great. Congratulations to Harry Kane. And now getting to the match reaction here. That's City. Manchester City basically just, I don't know what happened to them. This game was poised to be a belter, where I felt that there was a chance that, City, after kind of coming back 2-0 down in the first half in the previous game and then winning 4-2, would be something happening similar, but almost looked lackluster. It was pretty interesting for me, the choices that Pep made already, with not starting Kevin De Bruyne. That was the big one for me. He started Rico Williams, Kyle Walker, Akanji, and Ake. That was pretty known for me that he was going to, or I guessed that he'll still play the back three, but he went for the back four. He did not put Rico Williams a little ahead, but then that's what he did after the goal was scored by Harry Kane in the first half. But then the game was kind of pretty. Rodri was sleeping in the game, in my mind. I think he had the worst game of his life. The goal that Harry Kane scored is basically Rodri is backtracking towards his own goal and then puts the ball in the center, trying to pass it to Rico Williams, but then Højbjerg is smart enough to know that there's a pass being played and catches him halfway. And then he just kind of slots the ball in for Harry Kane to do a side foot shot, with Ederson is kind of wrong footed and can't save. I don't know. For like the next 10 minutes, I just kept watching Rodri. He had his head down and he's just walking. It's almost like he's in a garden and there's a game that there's something happening around there. He had no care about in that match. I felt that he should have been substituted in the first half itself, in the first 30th minute, but then it's Pep Guardiola did not do that. And in the 15th, and that's the thing, right? Like once the pressure is gone or kind of created, it's very difficult to come back against Spurs. Spurs learned that they're very good at kind of counter and kind of holding these defensive lines, and that's what they did. They scored in the 15th minute, and from there it was really hard for City to even kind of counter. They do the same tricks. They go to Grealish, they come back in the center, they play to Bernardo, they go to Mahrez, they come to Haaland didn't have a shot on target. But they didn't play. I don't know why City is not playing crosses in. You have a central striker, you're a forward. You're not playing him the way you should play him, right? You're trying to kind of still kind of tic-tac your way through or outside of it. And you have a guy there. Just play across. Let's see what happens. No crosses in, no shots on target from Erling Haaland, who is right now on 25 goals in the Premier League, 31 in total for Manchester City. But that's kind of the difference, right? I'm still trying to understand what's happened there. Where's the confidence gone? How is this even happening? Pep Guardiola then makes some substitutions in the first half. In the second half, with Mahrez going out, Kevin De Bruyne comes in. Then Gundogan goes out. Gundogan comes in. Bernardo Silva goes out. Yeah, and it almost like it's a second red as well. Like Romero gets a second yellow after the horrendous tackle on Haaland in the first half. I don't know what was he thinking. Like he's gone. The ball is only on his feet. Like you strike. Anyway, Antonio Conte was not there. Let's be very honest. But Antonio Conte had an operation in Italy, and he was there, and I think he was not at the stadium. And that's kind of, that was a story. Like, he was not there, but then Harry Kane crosses the 267, remarkable, which is his 267th goal for Spurs after surpassing Jimmy Greaves as the club's all-time record goal scorer, along with its 200th goal in the Premier League. That's kind of the game. That's the game settled. Of course, it's a little weird for City fans to see this happen as well. In my mind, City was no, they looked lost. They really looked lost. They didn't have a lot of passion. They looked kind of like all over the place, trying to figure out how to kind of break things apart. But then it should not, it seems to me the games are getting to these teams now, or there's too focused on the Champions League that's going to start very soon. Arsenal dropped points as well. We've seen various performances here being dropped, or kind of teams kind of getting the top two at least. Arsenal dropped points against Everton overall, and Sean Dyche did make an impact. But then Pep Guardiola loses to Tottenham Hotspur, where he had a chance to kind of cement or kind of close the gap between for Arsenal, but then now the gap remains at 6 points still. Arsenal is at 51. Manchester City is at 45 points. Arsenal at 50 and Manchester City at 45. Manchester City has lost 2 of their last 5 games, whereas Arsenal has lost 1 of the last 5 games, and the last game they lost was against Everton this weekend itself. They have a game in hand as well. Arsenal still have a game in hand. Right now, how the table stands, it's Arsenal top of the table with 50 points. Manchester City 45. Manchester United, they're now creeping upon Manchester City, 42 points with 21 games played. Well, one more slip up, and then United can win this, I guess, or like can get into the second as well. But then I'm sure Pep Guardiola, that's I'm talking too much into the detail about like how Pep Guardiola, Manchester City can have a chance to come back. But then it almost seems to me like the games are catching up. The expectation, the pressure has been kind of catching up on them. Spurs will take on. Well, Spurs, on the other hand, have taken the 5th spot pretty comfortably, putting a gap between themselves and Brighton, with 5-point gap there. Tottenham Hotspur, 22 games played, 39 points. Newcastle, who sit comfortably on the 4th spot, with just 1 point behind or ahead of Spurs right now. 21 games played for Newcastle, 40 points. But it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of season unfolds. Of course, the next games are going to be crucial as well. Spurs will take on Leicester City on next Saturday away. And City are like Aston Villa at home. That's going to be very interesting next weekend. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this kind of goes on unfolds. Pep Guardiola, he's known to make he's brilliant. He's known to make his tactics that he does. But then it seemed to be not starting Kevin De Bruyne and going with a back four, and almost backfired. He went a little more conservative, and the team played very conservative. They were not high on confidence. I mean, I'm very sure Rodri would have gone on a sitting today, because the goal was completely Rodri. He kind of placing a very bad pass into the middle in the first 15 minutes. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this game? What do you think Harry Kane? Well, Wayne Rooney has 208 goals still, and Alan Shearer. Do you feel that Harry Kane will be able to kind of break the all-time Premier League record as well, in a Spurs shirt? And what do you think about him kind of crossing their Spurs all-time record, goal-scoring record? If you're a Spurs fan, do share this video around with the Spurs fans, and engage and add to the comment section below, and let me know what you think. And it's going to be interesting to see how Spurs kind of takes buoyancy from this win, and of course, for Manchester City need to critically analyze like what's gone wrong, or how do they want to kind of go ahead and go forward with the season that they're having. Let me know in the comment section below, and catch you in the next one.